All right, welcome back to the bench powered by Wowhead. And the race for Demencius second for the bench crew was on, and it was very hot this week as I barely beat Growl. But Growl, congratulations on killing Demencius on Wednesday. I feel like you guys actually killed it pretty quick, considering where we left off last time.
Yeah, it was a big week for the bench crew. We did okay. We definitely took a lot of pulls, but I think that we recognized that P3 was going to be really hard, and people actually watch VODs and stuff. Also, we had a very clowny lucky pull where we had 8 people dead, and the boss was still at 9 or 10% health, and we managed to live all the way until the enrage and kill it. And by we, I mean not me, because I was dead and then got battle rezzed and died again. But
Nice.
yeah, it was fun. We killed the boss. I enjoyed this tier. I know you did as well. But now we are all full cutting edge gamers here on the pod.
Squishy, I have a question.
Right.
How do you feel about raid leaders tier listing their raiders right after the final boss dies? Do you think that's good or bad for guild morale?
This seems like a leading question. Who did this?
Not my guild. Let me just say.
I was wondering, Tettles, what do you get ranked, buddy?
So we have a renowned rival podcaster and shitster Dorky was in the chat cursing our guild as we killed it. And so, of course, now that our guild wasn't going to explode, he needed some sort of drama, so he just encouraged us to rank our guildmates on a tier list of their performance for the tier. And while doing that, I think, especially after a kill, is wildly inappropriate. Our guild is wildly inappropriate, and everyone in our guild basically wanted us to do it. So Drogo and I ranked all of our guildmates on a tier list after our kill.
Jeez.
It was alright. I don't know. We were pretty nice. I'm a big fan of open and honesty, and I'm not going to call people dog shit, but at the same time, if I was in a guild and people weren't happy with something I did or they wanted me to do something different, I wish they would tell me. And I feel like most guilds nowadays are way too, I don't know. I think there's equally amounts of drama in every single guild, except for a lot of people do it behind people's backs and do it in clicks. So as inappropriate as it was, hey, let's just lay it all out on the table and talk about it. I feel a little bad for people because not everyone would consent to that, but at the same time, look, I rant about my guild on the podcast anyway, so the cat's already kind of out of the bag.
He's our co-host has adopted a new nickname, Squishy. Growl the Gray.
Oh man. I mean, okay, so I want to clarify that I changed my bling timings around at the end of the fight just so I could get to the soak and be aligned properly as early as possible. I got to my correct spot in the soak, and then I died. So that's y'all's fault, is all I have to say.
Dude, we did reclear this week.
Yeah.
Demencius felt great. Not too bad to reclear. Nexus King? What in the world is that fight?
Well, what's wrong with reclearing it?
Oh, it's just you still need people to do the ghosts correctly. They didn't nerf they didn't nerf the damage, so you still get one banged if you get hit by a beam during the soak.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a mechanic that is probably slated to get nerfed at some point. I don't know if it necessarily needs to get nerfed yet, but it's. I think even if you could just mess up one time, that is a huge nerf to the ghosts in that fight for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna bring up my random fun stuff of the week here.
All right, what do we got?
Cool thing I've seen. All right. Oh, not that. Hold on. Please click. There we go. Yeah, pull this up. This was found earlier today. It's on Nexus King, and it's sick tech.
Ooh, we like tech.
Yeah, so basically, this is the end of the phase. There's a guild progging it. He gets MC'd. Oh, he fucked up. Oh no, he's MC'd. He's dead. But wait, he gets cycloned. Cyclone on the Druid class tree, of course.
That is the most fucking troll shit I've ever seen.
Then he gets cycloned again, and then the MC ends, and he lives. Everything's back to normal.
Dude, our guild would have really, really liked to use this technology. This is very, very powerful.
This is very, very powerful technology, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this fixed in, let's say, 3 hours?
This is, I mean, this is asinine. I mean, Cyclone. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more things that Cyclone has broken in Raid.
I agree. I thought this was a PvP talent. I was like, wait, how does this even? No, it's on
a choice node with Soothe. Yeah, it's just not taken because it's. I don't know.
Because why would you ever take it?
What the fuck are you cloning? Yeah, like.
You always wonder how much stuff that's in the game is there, and people don't realize it. Because you think about it, and it's like, most of us learn things from watching other streamers, but like, how does everyone else learn stuff? Well, from watching other people, and it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of things in the game that go undiscovered for a long time. Or there was one that recently got figured out. I knew about it, but I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. And I thought this is my thing of the week too. I don't have a clip or whatever. I don't know how common this is, but people know about it now. So apparently the last boss of Priory of the Sacred Flame does an ability called Blinding Light. And you have to turn around to not get blown. So apparently, I don't know how long this has been the case, but if you're a demon hunter, you're already blind. So you never actually got blown from the mechanic, you could just stare at it. But for the longest time, I guess everybody just turned around anyway, because that's what you do. And I guess apparently that's a thing. And so I guess there was like a TikTok or whatever, where someone noticed it and figured it out, and then it got spread. Insane. And so now, but I've seen enough people do it now that, you know, again, the cat's kind of out of the bag, but yeah, so that's my tip of the week as well. If you're a demon hunter, you're already blind, so you don't need to look away.
Somebody told me about this in Twitch chat the other day, and I was like, that would be good class fantasy. That would be funny. And then they go, oh, no, it's real. I was like, wait, what do you mean it's real?
Yeah. Tettles, you know who told me? Gork.
That's
known liar. I was like, there's no way.
It just sounds like something that could be made up, completely made up.
It definitely sounds like a troll, right? It sounds like one of those things that you tell the guy in Discord, and then he gets blind, and then you just laugh at him. But it's real.
Okay. All right. We got some stuff to talk about this week. I've been going to Tank College. We also have some Turbo Boost drama. There was a Preach video. Have you guys had a chance to watch this Preach video yet?
The Mythic Plus Fellowship one?
Yes. Preach made a video about Mythic Plus versus Fellowship.
All right, so I guess our commenters haven't gotten mad enough yet about us talking about Fellowship, because we're going to talk about Fellowship again this week.
Were they mad last week? I didn't read the comments.
No, actually, they were mad that I was shuffling poker chips. There was like something going on last Monday when we were recording, and I was like, I don't know, in my own head a little bit too much, and I was like kind of fidgety. And I'm kind of thinking about it, like, man, all these commenters are talking shit. And then I kind of thought about it more, and I'm like, I kind of just have one job. Like, if you're a podcaster, your one job is just to have good audio and like not troll. And I kind of didn't do my job, so I think they're in the right here. So this is the no poker chip episode.
Can you just do it once for those lovely commenters?
Nope, I already put them in the back of my desk behind something that I can't even see them in case I want to look for them.
You know what's crazy? Like, I didn't even notice it anymore. Like, it's one of those things that I actually like stopped even listening for.
I didn't even hear it. So, all right.
Anyway, Preach video.
Okay, Preach video. So basically, the premise of the video is that he hates Mythic Plus but loves Fellowship, and he kind of goes through all the reasons why. I would say that I would just go watch this video. We're gonna try to summarize it as best we can. It was kind of like a little bit weird whenever I was watching it, though, because all of the criticisms that he has about Mythic Plus exist in Fellowship. Like, they are the exact same problems. And Growl kind of said something that resonated super hard with me. It's like, I just don't think that Preach likes Mythic Plus. But then he's like pitching this video as if Fellowship does all these things correct that Mythic Plus does incorrectly, which is kind of crazy.
So I've watched this video too, and I kind of thought about it a little bit. First of all, Preach is like the most Omega Raider M plus hater ever. So I basically came up in BFA is like when I started learning the game, and I really, really liked M plus. This guy was a big M plus hater, and like, not that I like didn't like him or whatever, but we definitely just had very, very different opinions about the game. I think the big thing here is that a lot of it has to do with having your goals and what you want aligned with each other.
Yeah.
And so one of the things about Mythic Plus is, let's say you play WoW, right? You might not enjoy timed content or score or whatever, but you feel obligated to go into Mythic Plus and do this timed thing with affixes with other people because you're trying to get gear for your character to do other stuff, right? For Preach, it was Raid, or for PvP or whatever. And in the same way that I complain about Raid and I'm like, blah, 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 this is too hard, weak auras, blah, 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 right? He kind of feels the same way about Mythic Plus. He's like, why do I have to do Theater of Pain 30 times and there's a timer and I get penalized for my death and there's tornadoes picking me up? I'm just trying to farm my trinket and relax and play an RPG, you know? And I think that in Fellowship, it helped take him out of that mindset of like, okay, he's here now playing a game for fun, and now he can like, okay, this is Mythic Plus, and I'm only playing for Mythic Plus.
Yeah.
Like the results of what he's doing doesn't have anything to do with his raiding character, doesn't have anything to do with his player power or his guild. He's just playing Mythic Plus with his buds, and it was kind of funny hearing him say like, this is what's so great about Fellowship, because this is also what's good about M+, right? But when he played WoW, he was doing it to be a good raider. He wanted to be a good Mythic raider, and so Mythic Plus was more of an obstacle than a destination. But it was funny, but at the same time, like, again, that's what's nice about Fellowship, is that everyone who's playing is doing it to push score and move up their ranks.
Yes.
That's the only reason you're all there. So it's nice when everyone's goals are aligned at the same time.
I think that's something that's like really nice about Fellowship and the reward system. Okay, Squishy, what were you say? Sorry.
I was gonna say, because I didn't watch this video, and I'm just kind of scrubbing it real quick. It looks like he has big headers occasionally, and the first part that I see is failure is fine. Like, first of all, can you give me like a summary of this? Like, what are his major like things?
It basically is the premise that the dungeons don't deplete. I think one of the things that he was saying that he likes doing is continuing to practice or learn and not really feel like you're really going to be going backwards in any real capacity. And I think that was probably in my opinion, the most strong argument for being like, okay, yeah, Fellowship is great. Because that is a very large distinction between the two systems.
I agree with that. And rewards being the other one.
And everybody gets an item even if you fail. Yeah. Like, there's always something to do. So it was kind of one of those things, like, because the second one is time is rewarded, right? The failure was fine, and the second header was time is rewarded, and they were intertwined with one another. Where he was saying that you also end up getting rewarded for even if you do fail, right? But that's because the reward structure is so very different than World of Warcraft's reward structure.
It's hard to compare, right? Because WoW does have this as well, right? It's almost identical in WoW, actually. Whenever you complete a dungeon, even if you fail, you get crests, and then you use the crests to upgrade your gear. The big difference is in WoW, because there's this whole world and there's other things, right? You're time-gated on the crest. It's not like your 10th dungeon run, if you're doing your 8th weekly key or whatever, by then you don't need the crests, right? Most people don't. And so, yeah, technically you do get the crest at the end of the run, but you're capped, and so you only do so many dungeons a week, and then you get nothing. Whereas in Fellowship, because everything is uncapped, you can just keep farming dungeons over and over, and even if you deplete, it's like, okay, well, I get enough crests for half an upgrade or whatever. So every 2 little adventures you do, you can upgrade, one of your major pieces.
Yeah, I mean, WoW could fix this if they just completely uncapped crests at the very beginning of the season and allowed you to craft unlimited amounts of pieces, but I think that would be a worse game, but it could actually.
Well, it changes the dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Because again, if you're a raider and you're like, okay, well, I'd like to hang out with my friends and do the raid. Well, technically, the best thing you should do in the first week of the game is just run infinite amount of dungeons until you have max every hero track piece, right? Which is like ridiculous, right? No one.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, if you're an only Mythic Plus player, you might like that, but if you are raiding, for example, or maybe even PvPing, you may really dislike that system of, okay, well, now you just farm dungeons for infinite until your gear is done.
Yeah. I mean, like, I definitely agree with the reward structure. Like, doing Mythic Plus, think of getting rewarded 32 gold really brutally sucks. But, like, I don't know that failure is necessarily fine in Fellowship either. I feel like both are going to be really toxic the second this comes out to live. People are going, like, because the game is in beta, people are learning, people are expected to know, not expected to know things. But the second it comes out alive, people are like, why don't you know this dungeon yet? Like, you're wasting my time.
To me, the video also came off as like he was talking only about weekly keys when he was talking about Mythic Plus, and I genuinely wonder if he would have more, if he would enjoy the system more if he was actually trying to push keys, because the parts of Fellowship that he stated he likes, kind of like Growl said, are the parts of Mythic Plus that I end up enjoying, where you end up like just pushing keys and trying to progress, that is the fun part of Mythic Plus, and that is, at least for me as well, the fun part of Fellowship. I think that's the fun part of both of the games, just continuing to learn, continuing to improve.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think he could have a lot more fun if he returned to the game kind of and played casually in Mythic Plus versus before, where, yeah, I mean, that was his only experience, right?
Oh yeah,
Was doing weekly keys for raid, and that's all. He didn't go beyond weekly keys because why would, he just didn't want to. Like, why would he?
Doing weekly keys only for the purpose of gearing up for raid is.
Yeah,
I think that is the. I find that to be particularly unfun as well. I'm right there with him on that.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, there was just a post on Reddit as well that's just like, I was reading it earlier. It's so weird that even if the vault was removed,
yeah,
you still have to farm raid for crests, or you still have to farm Mythic Plus for crests. Like, you can't farm crests in raid. You can't, like, gilded crests. You just literally cannot do it. And then, of course, you want more chances at the best loot. So, like, you're a lot of people feel forced to.
Does your guild, or did your guild have people last season who didn't have all of their gear upgraded from Turbo Boost because they didn't get enough crests from farm raid?
Turbo Boost?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had people coming into the season who didn't have all their gear fully upgraded to 689 as well, because you just don't get enough crests. And my guild has just people who raid log and don't like Mythic Plus in it. Fine, like, it's not really that big of a deal, but it is crazy that you don't get enough crests from raid.
Like, realistically, Mythic bosses should probably just drop like 30 to 45 crests each. Like, there's no reason for them to drop 10 or whatever they drop now.
I think they drop 10. I think that's right.
Like, 30 would be a big benefit. If you kill 3 bosses, you have enough. Like, it's pretty well known that the way Mythic, like, in a perfect world, the 10 is fine because you clear the raid, you get enough. But, like, you don't get to kill every boss on farm. That's not the realistic how Mythic guilds work.
Don't you get 10 from a 7?
Something like that.
Is that not? Yeah, like, right. That is crazy.
It's hard because it depends on what your progression is in the tier. Like, at the beginning of the tier, I think it's quite healthy to, like, get a little bit from raid and, maybe some from heroic, some from mythic, do some dungeons. Like, I think that's healthy. The issue is, like, when you're done and you're kind of like, okay, well, I still want to log in raid to hang out with my friends and and whatever, and keep the guild together, and I want to raid next tier, but I don't want to do additional chores. I mean, I'm kind of in a similar spot in Mop Classic right now, where the final raid of the tiers come out, and we've completed it or whatever, but funny enough, there's actually a turbo boost in Mop, which is, like, almost identical to what there is in retail, where they add upgrade tracks and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really want to log in and, like, do this stuff, but at the same time, like, okay, well, maybe I'm trolling my guild by, like, not being as powerful as, like, you know what I mean? Like, once you have all of the content done and you're kind of, like, in maintenance mode for the next tier, it's certainly nice when you get everything that you need to get from raid, Like, I don't necessarily think people should just be able to, like, live in one corner of WoW and get everything, like, at the beginning of the tier, but then once you're sort of settled and you're just, like, waiting for the next patch, I think they should do more to accommodate people for sure, especially for guilds, because keeping a guild together is hard enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the crest can be solved, but even then, the dual vault to Mythic raid thing definitely sucks. And there's been this thing in WoW where, like, Blizzard has said they don't want to force you to do things you don't want to do, but that has not remained true for both Raiders and Mythic Plussers.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I could be wrong here, but I feel like I feel like Blizzard definitely likes the cross-pollination of, like, trying to get people to do other forms of content. They have treaded very carefully since Shadowlands. Shadowlands, they definitely, like, forced everyone to kind of do everything if you wanted that good gear, and now they're kind of about it, but I definitely don't think that's a stance that Blizzard has of, oh, I don't, like, you should be able to only play one thing. Like, they definitely want you to raid based off the Dinars. They definitely want you to do Mythic Plus because of the trinkets and the gear. Like, I think they definitely want you to do a lot of different things, and they don't want everyone to have everything who's just in one corner of the, like, doing one type of content.
Were you going to say something, Tettles?
I mean, I agree with you that like, I think that both of you guys are right, but it's more like Blizzard has stated that, right? That they don't want you to feel like you're forced to do content that you otherwise wouldn't want to do. I think they called it chores in the past. But I don't think that they've designed systems in a way that that's necessarily true. I think that while they might state that, I think that Growl is probably onto something where the cross pollination is nice for them, because otherwise you would change the vault. Like realistically, you would change the vault, or you would change how the gear works, and that's just, I don't know. It's not designed like that right now. But I think that we've always kind of talked about how we wish they would improve the vault more.
Well, let's be clear. I think gearing has gotten a lot more accessible and better over the last couple expansions. I don't want to make this seem like we're extremely unhappy with the gearing or we're complaining.
Yeah, sure.
I think there are obviously like hiccups here and there. Like we commented on the crafting system being kind of boring. Sometimes like crests and stuff can be hard to catch up on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with gearing in WoW. I think it's a little bit less fun than it could be, but also everyone in WoW is so tryhard and deterministic that you sort of have to, right? Like, I think WoW is just such like a serious competitive lobby game compared to other RPGs that they can't be too wacky and crazy with the gear. But overall, this isn't me saying like, oh, this needs a massive overhaul or I'm really unhappy with it. I think they've done a good job progressing over like the end of Dragonflight, or iterating, I should say, the end of Dragonflight and the beginning of War Within with the crest system and the upgrades.
I mean, I think individually, like, even if they gave you more crests from Raid, it doesn't really move the needle a lot in terms of just my enjoyment of the game. My enjoyment is almost independent of like those very small changes. But yeah, I do think that they could actually continue. Just going forward and continuing to try to improve the gearing system, I think, is probably the best path forward for them, as opposed to just like staying on the status quo, because it feels like we've had the status quo for, when did the crests come in? Second patch in Aberrus, like 10-1. So you just have to keep kind of continue to try to move the game forward.
Like they're making small changes every time. But like, if they just released what they did now, I'm sure all of us would have fun every season.
The small changes being what went to 90 crests for crafting in season 1, and then they go, that sucked. They go back down to 60.
Okay, like delves, go to crest delves. Like that is a realistic thing. The 15 crests at the end of from the heroic bosses at the end of the tier, like
Valor Stones carrying over from season to season, I guess.
Like they're small changes. It's not great, but like they're there. So
yeah. So what's this turbo boost drama? So they basically like strung out the turbo boost, so it's not. I didn't even fully understand it, like the way that they worded it, and there were like multiple dates. But I'm sure you guys are in the loop.
We actually misinterpreted it this last week, and I asked the exact same question. So they stated in their blue post that Turbo Boost was going to be coming out on the patch, right? 11.25, I think is the patch. That's where we're on, right? Yeah, so 11.25 is going to be coming out, and they said that Turbo Boost is going to be happening. Then they said that the tracks were going to extend by 2, but they didn't actually say anything of the crests. And I remember last week I go, but they didn't mention the crests. Everybody assumes that that's going to happen. I'm like, well, that doesn't say it here. And then apparently we're wrong, and crests aren't going to be uncapped until the 21st, which has really made people mad.
So people are bad, but I think the better way to look at this is, for some reason, they decide to release the track upgrades 2 weeks early.
Why are they doing this? Like, what
I don't know, because people said like, oh, Turbo Boost is too early. And I tended to agree with that, though it's like, whatever. But now, like, let's be real here. Turbo Boost doesn't actually release until the October 21st. Right? Like, the main part of Turbo Boost is
who needed 2 more tracks on their gear? Dorky, who's got a 722 fully maxed out character? Like, who needed this?
Yeah, I don't know. But, like, I think the better way to frame this is October 21st is the real Turbo Boost release date. And for some reason, they're releasing the tracks 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy way to look at it. Even though it's like, I mean, I guess I just think that looking back at some of the things that they've done this expansion, like notably the what was it called, like the duos or whatever, where that was like unnecessarily time gated. It does feel like they're stretching things a bit more than they should.
Yeah.
I've commented on that I like the fact that they're kind of injecting these little things throughout the season. Turbo Boost although it was a little bit controversial, I think it's overall like just kind of cool to give people something to do and make their guys stronger. That being said, it does feel like they're milking it a little bit with like, oh, there's this and then there's this date. Like maybe they have some weird game dev reason for why they have to do it like this, but it really feels like I don't know, like whenever I hear people say like, oh, they do this and this and this because they want you to sub for 2 months instead of 1 or whatever. I never buy into that, but at the same time, it's like, like, do we really need to do this? You know?
For me, okay, I've seen people get really annoyed with this. For me, I don't really feel that strongly about it, but it does feel like it's just a weird decision from Blizzard's end. Just have them come out at the exact same time by extending the track two rungs. That doesn't actually affect most people. Like that might affect people who have 0 myth track gear and aren't going to be getting any more, or people who have 100% of their myth track gear and are crest capped. So like not that many people like that's kind of crazy, because if you have full hero track gear, you're probably going to be able to get some level of myth track gear from, Mythic Plus Vault or crafting or something like that. So you actually have something to continue to use your crests on, but I don't know. This just seems a little bit strange.
Yeah, it's definitely odd. I don't know the reasoning. It's also weird because the next raid buff, the 9% damage and healing buff, comes out on this week as well. And it's gonna add up quite quickly. 3% more damage in the raid, a couple more percent on your high value pieces from the track upgrades, like you're gonna start ramping in the damage pretty quickly there.
Yeah, which I think that those are the reasons that I like the turbo boost, and I think that we all kind of liked. We talked about last season. We enjoyed turbo boost last season, where it made deep farm feel like it was deep farm. You were speed killing bosses again, and that plus the renown bonus, it nerfed the bosses pretty substantially, which I don't think is a problem. Like I actually think that is a fairly reasonable way of nerfing most of these encounters. Now, I think it's just a little bit of a mistake by them to release them desynced. What did they say about cartel chips in this blue post as well, Squishy?
So very similar to last time. Your myth track needs mythic raid boss kills.
Yeah.
But this time they're locking the heroic hero track pieces to you have to kill at least on normal.
As opposed to killing it on LFR last time?
Killing it on nothing. You literally did not need to kill you did not need to kill anything. You could just buy it on a fresh alt. So there are people that are mad, and I tend to agree with them a little bit.
Really?
Like, a tiny bit. It's weird to say, like, last time I think one of the critiques that we had is why limit Mythic and then just give the hero for free? If we're going for bad luck protection, why aren't all the difficulties just locked behind their own individual difficulty? Because that would just make it fair. And they did it weird again.
But yeah, also, it does seem a little weird. It seems like they kind of are finding their place with Dinars, right? This is another system that they've iterated on more or less since Shadowlands, where they've changed how it works. I mean, Shadowlands was different because it was like a season 4, so it was not technically during the season, so it was stuff from every raid. But they definitely are kind of trying to figure out what they want to do and why they want to do it. I think one thing that I kind of like would be things being account wide. Like for example, I don't really mind the idea, like if you're just coming into the game and you've literally never even done the raid before, a little kick in the butt to at least get you to do normal or whatever to get the trinkets, instead of just like buying all the stuff and just sitting in town or whatever, or like getting carried in dungeons. Like I don't really mind that so much, but like if you have full cleared the raid on Mythic and then you're like, hey, I want to try a hunter, and then but now I need to like get some pug normal on my hunter, or like get someone to bring my rat hunter. Mm-hmm. That just seems a little bit unnecessary, I think I don't mind dragging people into the raid, but if you've already done the raid, like what's the point?
Most common argument I think is like it's the last patch of the expansion, just to let people have this. I think that is the most common argument, which is what I think that's what they did the last time. So in Dragonflight, whenever we had Dinars, they just kind of gave you everything. But in Shadowlands, I remember it was very involved as to what you actually had to do, where you were like killing killing a bunch of mythic bosses to be able to get gear on those levels and stuff like that, right?
So the main reason why people are saying this is, remember that big blog post that Blizzard posted after people found out how Dinars were gonna work
Oh
last season?
yeah, the one that were like,
They-
we don't
they-
want
they
you
quoted-
overpowering the
Correct.
next tier and stuff.
And in hindsight, despite the community thinking that was a bullshit reason, they were right, because look at the fucking Delve Belt and how much people hate the Delve Belt. By the way, as a reminder, the Delve Belt's getting nerfed in like a week. Make sure you have a backup belt. But as an aside, like, Blizzard wasn't completely wrong in that case, because that belt and anything that is overpowered, they didn't nerf it. It completely fucked gearing this tier. Like, belts were another dead slot.
You think the Delve belt is what's fucking gearing?
I mean, it's one of the things, but think
I
about
mean,
it,
it's one piece, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of things that are. I don't know. I think that they have this formula that they seem to like now, where they do this thing to get you to come back and play the patch a little bit, and you feel like you need to get the item for next patch, right? Like, in my opinion, that's why they're doing the Cersei Circlet, Delve Belt, whatever kind of thing.
Artifact cloak.
Just to like give you a little something to do when you come back to like prep for the next patch and feel like your time isn't wasted. Like there was some guy who was, I don't remember what chat, like Yoda or JB's or something, like it was a first time chatter, and he's like, hey, just starting to play WoW this week. I'm brand new to the game and I'm leveling up. What are all the things I need to do while I'm leveling my guy for next expansion? And I'm like reading the question, like pausing, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to do anything. You can literally show you why you don't even care. Like, you're already prepping for next expansion and like thinking about that. Like, and he's like asking about like reputations or whatever, right? And I mean, in a lot of games that would be a legitimate question, but in WoW, there's just so little that you have to do, and that's part of the appeal of WoW, right? That there's just so many of these resets every single time, and I think the Delve Belt Cersei Circlet thing is them trying to give you something to do that you're preparing. But I just wish there was like a special slot or a cantrip slot or whatever for these items so that they don't take up gearing, you know? Like, sure, have like a magic item or like a third trinket slot, and then that this sort of a thing. But it's just annoying. Yeah, just like a seasonal slot, you know? And then that way, so you don't feel dumb every time you get 2 belts in your thing, or you finally kill the raid boss after 300 pulls, and it's just like belt, trinket that's dog shit. And it's just like, it just seems a very unnecessary part of the gearing to me.
I think those are the parts to me that are the annoying pieces of gearing right now, where it's not necessarily just the Delve Belt, but it's like how locked in every single slot can be. Where a lot of slots, there's like a formula for what you're supposed to be doing on each and every single slot, whether it be, you know, crafting a piece, getting an embellishment in this slot. Oh, only these trinkets are good, so only be searching for these very specific items. You wear 4 pieces of tier, but you only wear them in these slots, which means that this slot is open for this piece specifically that you're looking for that has these stats on it. And then you got this cloak and this belt at the exact same time that you need to be watching out for. And it's just like, it feels way too formulaic, I guess is the best way of describing it. It's just like too solved. It's like, I think solved is maybe a better way of describing it. It is literally solved.
To pull it back a little, like, the reason I brought this up is because that was their reason for not wanting to give people gear. And if people had BIS gear from the last season, like, there is a point where even you were farming for even less slots than before.
I mean, BIS gear from last season, I mean, we're talking about, like, okay, we gave the mole people, like Knife, Kazan on Mythic.
Jaster.
A Jaster. Okay.
Jaster lasted a while this tier. Like, I agree, trinkets and weapon, those are getting replaced every tier, like, almost no matter what. But, like, Jaster stuck around in my inventory for a while. Like, I know it did for a lot of other people. So, like, I can kind of see what Blizzard was saying now. But there's no next tier here. Everything is getting replaced. So, like, I can definitely see the argument that they should just let people have it.
Yeah, it's whatever. I trust that they'll iterate it and make things better. I'm not like that worried, but gearing this
people got really mad about the turbo boost stuff though. They got super salty about it.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like, I know you guys haven't really been pushing keys this season, but it really feels like a lot of people are checked out. I don't know why. Maybe it's just LFG. Maybe I got carried a little bit too hard by Dorky at the start of the season, but there are just no keys in Group Finder.
No, you're right. I
Like,
think that this season people are just have just been turbo checked out. I think it's because people are looking forward towards midnight. I think it's also a combination of like this is the third season of the War Within, which has felt very samey, and so I think, and then also maybe if you have aspirations of pushing, you're probably just gonna wait until Turbo Boost, right?
I mean, how long has this been going on, Growl?
I sort of feel like it's been all season, like you at least like last season. I remember title keys were like pretty dang competitive, and people were going all the way to like 1 key level to maybe 2 below like world first keys in Group Finder. And I mean, people are doing 20s and 21s, and it is like rare to see a 19 in Group Finder. Like, you will not see a 19, and like even the 18s are like few and far between. Like, you really can only pug up to like 17. I mean, maybe it's different for the EU listeners, and it'll obviously be different when Turbo Boost comes out, but it just feels like there's a whole lot less people who are just like out on the streets. And it's funny that everyone's saying, oh, it's Turbo Boost. And I think that might be true, but at the same time, like, I don't know, do we not just play keys for fun? Like,
No.
is the only point of doing keys really just to whatever your end of season Raider
Yes.
IO score is? Because, like,
Yep.
am I the only person who, as soon as the season's over, like 1 week into the next season, I completely forget about everything in that previous season and what my score was and anything?
Dude,
Like,
I mean,
what do you guys do?
Do
Do you like take a picture and post it on your fridge or something? Like, I feel like the end of the season is like, okay, now I don't care about my IO score anymore.
You're somebody who's gotten the title though. Like I think it's kind of the same thing as Hall of Fame, where the first time you get Hall of Fame, it actually means a lot to you. The first time you actually go for the grind and actually get to the rank 1 Mythic Plus title, it means a lot. I mean, that is a huge undertaking, especially the first time you're getting it. And you've got it before and you get it regularly. And so of course it's going to be a lot less meaningful for you. But I do think that there's something that you're kind of harping on that I was thinking about the other day, where I wish that pushing early season was more impactful, because pushing early season is in my opinion way more fun because things are less solved, metas are less developed, people are getting massive power spikes in between week to week because your gear is spiking super hard.
Yes, agree.
And I wish that pushing early on in the season was more heavily incentivized. I mean, I was reading a comment, I think it was in my chat or something like that. Somebody was like, they could just break up the season into 3 different seasons for Mythic Plus, where you get the early, the mid, and the late, which would be really weird, right? But that, like, if they did something where you actually were incentivized to push early on, I think that would be super cool.
I mean,
yeah.
There's the other extreme. It's funny you say that, because like the mobile game like kind of combats this and makes sure you keep playing and keep spending money in gacha games. But like, where you have like weekly rankings, like at the end of every week, your ranking is compared, and you go up a division, you go down a division, you stay the same division. Like at the end of every single week. Like, that's obviously an extreme, but like there's probably some medium where that could maybe work for WoW. But it is an interesting thought. But I definitely think that's like part of why people aren't playing as much right now, because it was likely that Turbo Boost was coming. And resilient keys, I think, really disincentivize pushing early, because what's the point of pushing early when I just go hit up Jang B late in the season and be like, yo, 18s?
I wonder if people burned themselves out last season on resilient keys. I think that might be
Dude, I feel like they might. I feel like they might have. Like, last season was, I mean, I know at the end of this season it won't matter and everyone's just going to be fiends doing prior Brazil 27 or whatever again, but it does feel like the scene is a little bit burned out, because I feel like at least last season it was like the streets were bustling. There was people everywhere, tons of people were pugging. Like, the fact that it was the whole like fizz comp, play 5 classes with short kick and just like hold W through the dungeon, the fact that that's kind of a strategy now, I think is a lot more accessible to pugs or people that aren't like super coordinated, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I saw lots and lots of that last season, and I'm like, it's even better this season, it feels like, but I just don't see as many people playing. I don't know.
I also think the dungeon rotation is just not as fun. Like, Dawnbreaker is up there in terms of not great dungeons.
Really, I think this is one of the best dungeon rotations ever. Huh.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, last season I did basically every key other than top.
Yeah.
This season I like don't want to do Dawnbreaker, buggy ass dungeon. I don't want to do halls. Like Eco Dome is probably my favorite dungeon. I don't want to do Priory because it's long and hard, and there's 50 bolters in there. Like, The bolters and Halls of Atonement especially killed my desire to play this season. Like, there's so many things that just gun you down out of nowhere.
It feels like the difference between the dungeons is really severe in terms of difficulty. Like, not necessarily your ability to time it, but like, for example, in Priory, we were doing a Priory last night, and Greg made the comment, or Yips or somebody, whoever was tanking, was like, it feels like this is one of the dungeons where if you're not fully locked in, constantly calling stuff and doing all this crazy shit, you just die. Can we just go to Ecodome? Like, in Ecodome, we can just hang out and talk about dinner and hold W and do whatever, right? Like, I don't it's hard because, like, I don't like thinking about Priory or Arakara or Halls. If you play everything correctly, I don't really think there's that many things that are dramatically unfair. Like, especially with weak ores and shit, you can do anything. Like, there's not very many unfair mechanics. But at the same time, it's like, sometimes I just want to press my damage, bro. Like,
Unfair?
I don't want to press Supernova and then Blast Wave and then shifting power in the middle of my cooldowns and then Supernova again, and then I don't want to press those. I just want to press Arcane Barrage.
So there's a distinction between unfair and unfun here, right? Where you say, oh, these things aren't unfair. But the problem isn't the fairness. The problem is that it's just not very fun to have packs with 2 or 3 casters in them. Or like, everybody plays, I don't say plays Mythic Plus the same way, but there's kind of a script that you follow, and it's kind of understood that you're not legitimately going to be pulling 1 pack at a time. That is like not happening. Everybody's be pulling like 2 to 3 packs at a time. And every single pack having 1 to 2 casters is just not great.
Yeah, I mean, like, they made Dawn worse, in my opinion, with, like, making some of the church mobs actually do something. Because that was, like, the most fun of the damage. Like, that was the most fun part of the dungeon. You just go into the church and blasting everything.
They put a fucking ritualist in the church.
And then, I like, Arakara isn't hard. I just don't find it fun. Like, I just don't like the dungeon for whatever reason. And it's just, I'm just not a fan of these dungeons. I don't know how much it is like dungeons coming back, but like Ecodome, Floodgate, like those are great. I love those dungeons. And like as somebody that only does weekly keys, I refuse to go to half the dungeons in the pool.
Both the Tazaveshes I think are fantastic too.
Yes, I agree with that.
But I will
Streets
say,
is okay.
I think that like I think there's a commentary that you could have about any season. But I think that this dungeon, these set of dungeons, I actually do think are way better than average.
I mean, I guess I just fundamentally disagree. I found last season's dungeon pool, like, sick, except for top. Like, I would go to 7 of the 8 dungeons during weekly keys. I would go to 4 of these ones.
But you liked, okay, what would change about Priory? It's literally Priory. It's back.
I, for whatever reason, enjoyed it more, and I cannot tell you why. Maybe it's literally just because we did it 2 seasons in a row, and I'm now sick of it.
I guess I'm just worried thinking through this and giving this feedback because how spoiled are we? Like, I feel like M Plus has gotten so much better this expansion, and there are so much less unfair mechanics and weird shit and like dungeon imbalance. But here I am still complaining about it. No, like. Okay, maybe compared to last season or like other seasons in War Within, it wasn't. But like, do you remember there was an expansion where we have the same dungeons for the whole expansion? Like that wasn't too long ago. Where you start, like during Shadowlands, you just have Sanguine Depths every single season, Theater of Pain every single season, and now it's like we can't even stand the same dungeon for half of an expansion, even though. As a community, we voted for it as one of the better ones, so we still hate it. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I think I don't really disagree with you in terms of the way I feel, because I also feel like some of these dungeons are just a little much. But on paper, I don't know if they really are compared to previous seasons.
Let me pose something first, and then we can discuss it. What if it actually has nothing to do with the dungeons? What if it's just 100% about the game? The game is just less interesting because this is the sixth season of Dragonflight, and it's just not as interesting. Like, I think it might have something to do with that, and not specifically the dungeons. And that's kind of the philosophy that I've always had, where it's like, seasons can be good or bad, but the most important thing is like how well the game is doing. And I think that is and it's not even something that you can tangibly talk about, right? Like, I think that am I having fun is a very subjective take, and it's kind of like an easy, at least for me, like litmus test of like, okay, am I enjoying this? It's just, am I having fun? And it's like, I don't think that you need to necessarily even be able to articulate why you're not having fun in a dungeon. Kind of like Swishy being like, yeah, I liked Priory last season, I hated this season. I think that's actually really reasonable.
I think I know what it is, by the way.
Okay.
It's because bolters now affect me into 12, and they used to not in season 2.
We weren't getting.
I could get global by 2 bolters shooting me, and season 2 they didn't. Like, I feel like things are just more burstier right now in keys.
Maybe.
Like, I'll just die during my cooldowns more often. Like, that is a subjective feeling. Like, that's how I feel, but like, I could be wrong on that. But I feel like, especially with Halls of Atonement, Priory, just getting double fireballed, bolted, you just fall over.
I feel like that happened to me all last season. I was in just fucking hell.
I don't push to your key level, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry.
I think that I'm still enjoying the game. I don't mind the systems. I've had fun with this raid. I enjoy the classes that I play. I enjoy the dungeons. A lot of my sense of not enjoying things, I feel like, is just the people around me.
Where are the people? Like, dude, all of my friends I have quit like for the season. Like they are not coming back until next expansion.
Dude, it just feels like there's no tanks, man.
Yes. There are no tanks.
The last thing I want to mention is, especially right now, like 4 like arguably of the best games have released this year, and people are probably playing those. Right? Like, as of in the last month, you had Silksong, Borderlands 4, and I got Mega Bonk and Hades 2, all just released in the last month. People are not going to be playing WoW right now, especially with how long the season's been going on.
WoW players have migrated back to old school RuneScape, of course.
I heard the new Dying Light is good. Have you guys watched or seen or played the new Dying Light? I know the first one was really good, and then the second one wasn't great, and I heard the new one is good, but I haven't played it yet. I still haven't gotten through Borderlands. I don't know why. I just haven't really been able to sink my teeth into that game, but I did buy it, and I've gotten to like level 10, and I'm kind of like just exploring around the world, but I don't know.
Hey.
I'm just like chilling. Oh yeah, Expedition 33. I haven't played that game either, but everyone says it's good.
So many banger games hit this year, and like in a week and a half, Battlefield comes out, like October 10th or something.
6 like or something, right?
I don't actually remember what it's called, but like people are gonna be playing that. Like my guild's excited about it. The beta went over really well. People talked about it really well. So like people are just not gonna be playing WoW, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like Midnight isn't for God knows how long. So
yeah, we're all bored, and then Alpha comes out soon, and then we're WoW's great again. Woohoo! Midnight, Apex Talons.
What are they announcing this week? There's an interview or something, right?
There's a deep dive on Wednesday, and then a live Q&A with the Haws.
With the Haws, oh my god, a live Q&A. Do we know what any of it's about?
Midnight.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. They're gonna talk about housing.
I assume
they're gonna talk about housing for 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, I mean, they basically showed like a little roadmap thing. We talked about it last week, but the TLDR, I think, is like the basic story, the zones, player housing, maybe a few of like the early leveling dungeons, just like the real basic stuff, right? Apex Talents, I think they are going to talk about them, but they still don't have a lot of them to like actually be in the game. I think it's more just like a, first glance into the expansion, because we really haven't even gotten that other than like a very baseline, like, okay, this is what's in it.
Is anybody excited for Remix?
Dude, everyone's been asking me about Legion Remix. I have zero interest or care to play it whatsoever. I think the novelty of Mop Remix was cool. I also used Mop Remix to level a bunch of dumb characters that I'll probably never play, like a rogue and a demon hunter and a hunter, because it was just like something to do. But the idea of like, push Mythic Plus with infinite power or solo clear the raid, like none of that stuff is what WoW is about to me. Like, to me, that's just like, if I wanted that, I would go play Diablo 4.
We are spoiled, entitled motherfuckers. Dude, I just want to get that out there.
I will play Legion Remix for this. This set is fucking incredible, and I will be collecting all 4 of these sets because they're the best fucking capes in the entire game.
I guess if you're a big collector or mog farmer or whatever, I think this is a cool thing. Like, there's basically a ton of stuff to do in terms of unlocking collectibles. That just isn't really me personally. Like, that's not something I really care about at all.
I mean, Remix is for the cosmetics, right? Isn't that what that shit is for?
Basically, yeah. And it's just like there's like the Argus green scythe, like there's 4 colors of those capes. They're the coolest capes in the fucking game, I swear to God. Like I'll play it for that, but am I gonna go as hard as Mop? Probably not. Unless there's frog farming again.
Ham on Mop. I remember that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was daily simulator. You logged in, you did your dailies, and then you logged off, and that's all you did every day. And I don't mind
in hindsight, why were they so try-hard with Mop Remix? Like, do you remember Mop Remix came out and then like people were farming their cape or whatever and people were doing dumb stuff, and then eventually people figured out the frog farm where you could just like sit in a party and farm those frogs and get a bunch of the cape power or whatever, and then everyone got so mad and they like roll-backed people's capes on Mop Remix. I remember thinking at the time that like, oh, this is probably fair or whatever, like this is good. Dude, it almost is like, well, it's just stupid. Like, I guess I don't get why people were so try-hard in that raid.
I don't even think they should have fixed it. I think they should have
like, why? Why are they mad that you could just farm a bunch of frogs? And like it feels like they're trying to make the content be too, like, wow. You know, like they like wanted to protect the integrity of the raid in Mop Remix, and that's why they did that.
Dude, the first two things. One, you mentioned protecting the integrity of WoW. That's how I felt when they were nerfing people in Torghast. It's like, why are you nerfing people in Torghast? Because they did like class tuning of Torghast powers, and I was just like, did we really need to spend time on this? But anyways, the second thing is, Growl, I don't know if you knew, but frog farming was a thing back in the day. Like, it was fully sanctioned. You can look at YouTube videos from 10 years ago going over frog farming. You farmed it for bonus rolls in the raid. That was a thing. And it was still a thing on live servers. So when people found that out, I was like, oh yeah, I remember frog farming. Surely, like, it's a great homage to like the rose-tinted goggles of, I did this back in the day, now we can do it again. And Blizzard was like, oh fuck no, not now. So like, who did this hurt, Blizzard? Who was hurt by frog farming? Should have just left it. Anyways. So Mob Souls.
Mob Soul. I don't know. Dude, I think for me, the Legion remix, the concept of remix, I think Classic kind of satiates that more. Like, in my mind, it's like more interesting because you're actually doing the content as if it's current, where remix is like the heavily abridged version where you go back and see it. But for me, it was just like, to me, it's never really that interesting in my mind, because it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it seemed like an elevated level of mog farming, right? Like, I commented this before.
Exactly.
Like, when I first started playing WoW in BFA, I would go back to the old raids and I would kind of see what they looked like. You know, what was whatever raid, and kill them. Did I really care about the cosmetics? No, but it was just something fun to do and check stuff out. And Mob Remix was kind of like a cooler way to do that, right? Of like, you can get a guy, you can level up, like you can check out the different zones and like see the NPCs and check out the raid. But I just don't really like. I think hopefully they change it with Legion, where it's like way more built to just be like a fun single player farm all the cosmetics experience. Because I definitely remember in MoP that there was like this big deal about like the raid on Mythic, and wasn't there like really good rewards for it too? Like, was it like the Garrosh shoulders or something, like the, yes. I don't know any of the, there was the Tusk of Manaroth. There was like something that was like really, really sought after, but you like had to clear Siege of Orgrimmar on Mythic and MoP Remix or something, and you actually had to have a group of people doing mechanics and stuff. It's like, to me, that's not what Remix is about. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of people in the comments that are like, oh, that was the most fun part of this for me, but I just think this already exists in retail and Classic. It doesn't need to exist in Remix.
Do you think that Mythic Plus in Legion Remix can kind of fill that issue that you were kind of citing?
If you can get all the cosmetics for it, yes. Like, if you can just, because like that's a big thing people talk about. Oh, you can solo plus 40s. Like, to me, that's not fun at all. Like, again, I'd rather play Diablo 4 or Path of Exile. But if people want to get cosmetics, yeah, like as long as it's a way that you can do it by yourself and you can just grind and not have to like look at, like, I'm pretty sure for MoP Remix and Mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, you literally had to look up a YouTube video to do the raid. Like, it was just like raiding in retail again.
I wonder if the people who ran into the gas in Plunderstorm, if they listen to this, it's like the same way that we view them running into the gas in Plunderstorm.
I mean, I'll probably play these remix. Like, I don't know. There's something special about going back and be like, yeah, I remember this. Like, well, do you need to do it 100%? No, but I think that's kind of the point. You're probably still going to need to do like ENR correctly, and you'll probably need to do like Archimond correctly, but like you get to skip the DPS checks and stuff. I think that's fine.
Archimond, that's crazy that they brought him back for Legion.
Come on, wrong.
Argus?
Kill Jaden. Kill
Jaden. Oh, yes.
Wrong one.
The other guy.
You know, like the knock, like the ball spot in the corner and the knock happens, right? People can't do that to farm the old raid right now. Like, people still complain about, can we nerf Mythic Kill Jaden? Well, so I have a feeling it's gonna farm people in Lemix.
Mythic Kill Jaden required knockback immunities or
now
no,
you just need it. You just need to know how to do it, right? Like,
oh, you need to know the intermission dances and shit.
Because the first intermission dance, it still summons the 4 orbs in the corner, and you just have to bounce from orb to orb. But like, people don't know how to do that still.
Have they considered leveling a Death Knight and pressing Death Advance?
I don't think it's up for all 4 orbs though.
Probably not. They go Goblin.
They just go Drakthir.
Oh, they could go Drakthir. That's hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah, but like, I there are probably some bosses that you're still gonna need to do the mechanics, because you can one shot that boss right now and people still complain about it. So like,
yeah, it'll
be fun though.
Mythic Kill Jade? You one shot?
Yeah. Like, you could do before he starts the intermission now. Like, during the collector's bounty stuff, I farmed some stuff from him. It was easy.
What even dropped off him? I remember there's a crit trinket that I wore for a very long time that dropped off him.
I went for Mog on Fallen Avatar, and I was there, so I was like, okay, I'll just go kill Jaden.
Well, since I'm here, yeah, that's fair.
So,
all right, you guys want to talk about tanking in World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I want to hear about the tank adventures.
Oh my god! Recently, I've gone to college, tank college, and I've been doing a subathon, and it's based around me taking a fresh character all the way up to, well, last season was 3K with my shaman. This season, I decided that I'm tanking. My chat voted on a tank. We got Brewmaster Monk, and the goal for this season has been all 15s, and it has been a cinematic experience. The YouTube video that accompanies it will be very long, I'm sure.
I want to say, before you started this, when you mentioned you were going to do like a subathon 0 to hero thing, I don't want to say I was skeptical, but a lot of people have done really fraudulent subathons and 0 to heroes independently over the course of WoW. And I was really hoping that you weren't going to do something bad or like fraudulent. And I think, not to glaze, but I think you did a really good job with everything in terms of like the way that you handled the subathon, the goals that you had, the stuff that you had. Also, your tanking was like very, very entertaining to hate watch. And so I've been frequently tuning in. It's also nice that you're just playing nonstop, so like I can wake up at 8 a.m. and you're just on, or like you're on at 1 a.m. You're just grinding out your miserable 14 keys and pugs or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in. I don't know. I have some questions about stuff, but I guess like overall, if you want to just go over like you're like pretty close to being done with it, right?
Yeah, so I'm pretty close. I think I'm like 30 score away, so I'm like 116 away or 215s away from just being finished. Thank God. I think overall I have determined that tanking is not for me for a multitude of reasons that I'm sure we're going to be going over soon. Currently I have 68 hours of Slash played over 5 days, so I have been just absolutely grinding. And I didn't have any experience tanking to begin with this, so I think that those are kind of important elements to know beforehand.
Yeah.
It has been...
How has...
What were you say?
I was going to say, basically, like, how has tanking been as, like, in the LFG experience? As somebody that used to tank, how are you enjoying tanking in the LFG?
So, I think I would have infinitely more fun if I was tanking for other people. I think that's something that I actually enjoyed playing my Ellie Shaman last season, and I just, was continuing to just play it. I actually enjoyed playing Ellie Shaman. I enjoyed the playstyle, and I think that like range DPS is just more attractive to me. For tanking, you were tanking at all times for other people, and the goals of tanking are so lopsided. It's so heavily weighted in the success of the key. Like whenever I'm playing my Ellie Shaman, I can have moment to moment enjoyment where, you know, I popped off on this trash pack. I did infinite damage on this trash pack, and that was fun. But for tanking, it's like pass fail, and it's either pass fail, right? You either live the trash pack or you don't. And so the only way that you're ever successful is timing the key, which everybody, you know, gets to feel the exact same way after you time the key. Maybe you live a hard trash pack. Congratulations, you have just successfully completed your job. That was your job. Like that, you didn't go above and beyond. You lived a trash pack. That was your job, anyways. And it's like, I think that it has been pugging it has made it substantially less enjoyable than I think it would have otherwise been if I was doing it in a group of people that I knew, because it is a role that you were doing on behalf of other people. You're not doing it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying $15 a month to let other people ride on your back through the dungeon as they can have fun DPS.
I'm sitting in the chair.
Do you feel like you have more control over the key then?
I do feel like I do feel like I have a lot more control over the key. Like individually, what's going on, I do think that I have a lot more control. But I also get really annoyed whenever I was on Melee Shaman last season, I would have this mantra of like, not every key is meant to be timed. However, whenever somebody depletes my key this season and I'm on my tank, I have a different mindset. You've ruined this run for me. How could you have possibly have done this to me? It's terrible. I've been sweating my ass off for 20 minutes for you to run this key down and not do DPS. I'm mad. Why didn't you press your interrupt?
I like the clip. Can you pull that one up?
Oh yeah, this is Squishy's a cool thing he's seen this week.
No, that was me earlier. This is also
another
a cool
one
thing I've seen this week.
Oh my god, no, not this again. I've lived this experience. I was here. I think I have brain damage. Like,
oh, we're definitely going to talk about this one because you mentioned that we talked a little bit about this key as well.
I think I have brain damage or something because like.
Well, yeah, you do. I mean, haven't you read our comments? They remember.
It's insane. Like I just swanton bomb my entire team with the fear, and this isn't even the first time this has happened. This is the second time that I've done this during this series.
Well, so all right. So for the audio listeners, I'll vividly describe what's going on here. So he's in a Dawnbreaker plus 12. Now it seems like a pretty tight key. There's 6 deaths, but the timer looks okay. The boss is getting low. It targets Tettles with the last tank buster, the giant circle. And he goes to do some sort of brewmaster thing, which leads him to dash on top of his entire team, killing 2 of his DPS instantly, in which both of them get rezzed immediately before the AoE damage, and I think both of them die again immediately after.
So,
and one funny thing about I'll just keep making fun of your key. So one funny thing about this was I didn't see this live, but I sort of tuned in the aftermath of this key, and you were pointing out how you felt like groups were very, very inconsistent when you're pugging at these levels, and how a lot of times that you didn't have control of the key, and it was just like hoping that your zoo animals would perform, which kind of is how healer feels like sometimes. And then this clip was linked of you blowing up your team with the frontal. And I'm kind of wondering if you had any like thoughts about this or revelations, or like if you wanted to maybe elaborate more about the differences between tanking and healing and responsibilities. And
I think I am fucking dog shit. Like I just want to start this out.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
I think I am actually just god awful at tank, and it's like, and dude, it is crazy. Like some of the shit that I've seen in these Mythic Plus dungeons has absolutely been like insane. Like I couldn't even make some of this shit up. I had a mage that went 16 minutes in a Priory of the Sacred Flame, only pressed interrupt twice. I had twice in Dawnbreaker. People, I'm talking in party chat and I'm pinging myself as I'm flying to Roshanon, except the strategy is you actually fly to a trash pack and you kill it during the RP and you save 45 seconds. It's a nice strategy. However, multiple times now, people just are refusing to read party chat or looking at pings and then go and kick the fucking boss. Like they go kick the boss and then it just immediately wipes you. It like I have people who do actual tank damage in like 14s. I've had some insane experiences, and at the same time, I'm like struggling to actually even figure out how I'm even playing my character. Like I am like doing the worst shit imaginable, like the equivalent of this all the time. It's not always as flashy as this, but I make so many global mistakes where I don't tag a pack with keg smash. I don't get threat. Let me just tell you, gathering packs is awful. I'm terrible at it. And it is like, to me, it is crazy some of the shit that I have seen. And it's like the inconsistency in the 14 to 15 level. I don't know what is different between this season and last season. Maybe it's like this weird keystone level that I selected where people have to actually know what's going on, yet some people do and some people don't, or like, I don't know what's actually happening, but it has been crazy at this keystone level.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and I think there's maybe something to be said for the idea of staying ahead of the pack in a way. Like, for instance, I think if you started off tanking at the very beginning of the season and kind of like learned with everyone with the dungeons, you wouldn't have as many demons. You definitely still get demonic people in Group Finder all the way up, but I think like halfway through the season, starting at 13s and 14s, which I would consider like definitely push keys, but like beginner level push keys. Those are basically like, okay, I don't want to just get 3K score for my achievement. I actually want to do Mythic Plus. That's like the entry level for that type of person, right? And so you get a very wide variety of people there.
I think that is what has been my experience too, where it is a very wide variety of the caliber of players, to the point where in that run, I got told by that warlock that that run that we showed that clip from over and over again, I got told to uninstall the fucking game, by the way, because of what I did on Rashanon, where I pinged my team. I told them that we were going to be flying to the trash pack. They didn't follow me. Then they kicked the boss and they depleted the key. Then they told me to uninstall the game. It was insane.
I mean, this is why there are no tanks. Just flaming your tank like that, but like overall, is part of it just like a weird mentality shift from you? Because like realistically, the answer is not every key is meant to be timed.
Yes,
but there's this interesting perception that I've kind of been listening to from your perspective, where because you feel like you have more control over the key now, when anybody else makes a tiny mistake that ends up wiping your key, you just like are like, what the fuck? Like I tried my hardest.
I wish they were tiny mistakes. It is insane. I've had, I think, 3 keys now where minor inconveniences have happened and they've been abandoned just immediately on the spot while the key is still timeable. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, how has this happened?
All right, I linked a great clip for you too, but this just goes to my point of, dude, this abandon system, all the people that hate levers, by the way, this abandon system makes people leave keys way more than they used to before. Anybody who pugs keys right now who thinks that the abandon system prevents levers, now you just get forcibly removed from the dungeon or have no choice at all to salvage the key because it's so easy to abandon, right? Before you had to be that guy, right? And while there is some people who don't mind being that guy who just leaves or whatever, says, generally if you're in a run and you're like, is this timeable? Probably not, but whatever, like I'll play, right? And so I'm showing a clip right now of Tettles in a Halls of Atonement, literally the first pull. And I think they even kill the pull. It just goes a little bit crazy because they pull.
We literally don't even wipe.
They pull a Stoneborn, right? So this is 2 minutes into the key, and they have a couple of deaths because they pull a Stoneborn. Not even wipe, they still kill the shard. So they're at the end of this pull, they're 3 minutes into the key with 4 deaths or something. And someone types, all right, GG, throws up an abandon vote, and before Tettles can even react, it just passes and removes him from the dungeon. Like, bro, this is a 15 and you're 3 minutes into the key. In what world is this over?
It actually blew my fucking mind. So what happened? Let me just try to explain this for context for those who don't know as well. So the warrior dies to this first pull because he gets double bolted, or he gets bolted at the exact same time as Shard AoE was going off. He died to something. But it involved a bolt and not kicking. Whatever happens, then that groundskeeper pulls that. The Stoneborn Slasher. Instead of pressing provoke the first frame I noticed it, I actually rolled towards it to press blackout kick on it to do some damage to it. I guess this is my mistake, but the warrior and the hunter end up dying because the Stoneborn Slasher got pulled by a groundskeeper that's fleeing, something that anybody in our group could have actually prevented. I cannot fucking believe that this was the all right GG's moment of this dungeon where we are 3 minutes. I have never been more irritated. The key is still timeable. I have just been taken out of the dungeon that I have put my key in. And
yeah, this is your key. This is your key, by the way. You have 2 of the votes. So all 4 of the other people in your group immediately voted yes to abandon 3 minutes into the key. And it isn't even like you did an impossible pull and then you wasted lust and now you can't do anything. The pull is dead. You killed the pull. Like, you're at worst. Even if this was like an insanely tight key, you're at worst 2 minutes behind. Like, I swear the abandon system is not good for the game. Like, this is making people quit more than ever.
This is
like, if you're some Omega serial leave, it's funny because initially Blizzard said this thing where they're like, all right, we're going to start penalizing these serial leavers. And now they rolled out this abandon system. And it's like, okay, you know, if this is what you guys think now that there's all these serial leavers everywhere, this system is good against them. But holy crap, this is bad for, I mean, I was playing in, I don't remember if I mentioned this on the pod, but we were doing a gambit and we had this, it was like a very stacked team of people on alts, like all title level players and then 1 pug tank. In the pug tank, like we end up having the Murlocs run around and pull way too many mobs and we wipe. And the tank just tries to abandon and we're just like, dude, shut up. Like, we literally have 4 title players in the key and it's like a 14. And so I'm pretty sure then the tank tries to throw the key by pulling way too much and wiping us again, but we kill the pack. And then the tank's like, oh, I guess I'll play. And then we kill the packs anyway and then we continue. But it's like, dude, this is what people do. Like, they just slam abandon and they just want to give up. Like, I don't even get it. I don't even know what the purpose is or what they're trying to do. But if you think people quit before, people are way more likely to quit now.
I think people are way worse about it now. People will slash abandon your key when the vibes are off. The vibe is slightly wrong. They're abandoning out of your fucking dungeon no matter what's happening. It is crazy.
That's really interesting to me because, like, my thought on it was if somebody was going to leave, now they're just going to throw up an abandon vote. And you wouldn't have, there wouldn't even have been, like, they would have just left your dungeon. Your dungeon was definitely over. So wouldn't there be a higher chance of, like, even if, like, a couple runs were saved just due to having the abandon vote, like Growl just said, wouldn't that be an improvement? And you're saying that's, like, not the case?
Well, what I'm saying is there's plenty of times now. Like, okay, if I'm in a key and I think the key's depleted, but everyone else is playing the game, I'm just going to play the game too. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, by the way, we actually are 2 minutes short and this key is not timeable, therefore we should leave and I hearth, right? Like, I'll just play the game, like, who cares? But I'll definitely do slash abandon. I'll throw up that abandon vote and everyone just slams yes. And who knows, like, I don't know, maybe everyone doesn't want to be in that key and everyone's happier now with the new system. But I think while it's true that a person who's going to leave is going to leave anyway, I don't think there was that many of those people. And I think a lot of people who are just tilted are going to quit keys that they wouldn't normally have quit because it's so easy to throw it up.
I think it's easier to hit yes on the prompt than, like, be that guy to leave the group. Group.
Oh yeah,
like I feel like it's making a bigger statement. It's not how I initially thought it was going to work. Is you would poll the party and you would determine it democratically. That is not the case. People will fucking just hit yes no matter what is going on.
No, yeah. Anybody who's played, I don't know how League works, but anybody who's played Dota or Han knows exactly how that goes. Like, you're mad at everybody, you hate your team, you have an exit, and just yes. Like, you don't even know what the vote is. You don't even know why. You don't know the game state. Just get me out of these people right now is what you're thinking.
It's insane because it's like the most minor inconvenience for somebody's damage just triggers the fuck out of some of these DPS that I've been playing with, and they just slam the abandoned vote immediately. And I'm like, no, the key is still fucking timeable, please.
What percentage of votes do you feel like actually fail?
0. None of them have failed.
Oh,
Really?
I've stopped voting. I've stopped voting because it just passes without me even voting. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's not very often that an abandoned vote gets thrown up and then it votes no. I think if you can abandon vote, I mean, I've seen it happen. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I mean, okay, go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. Like, what percentage would you say, like, fail? 10%?
I've had
5%?
one group vote no to abandon a key today. It happened today, and I think it was a 2 stack of people that voted no because
yes,
they
I think
wanted
almost
to finish
exclusively.
the dungeon.
Yes, almost exclusively if it fails, it's because there's a group of people all voting no. I think if there's 5 people who are all independent, like solo pug guys, it almost like 99% passes, regardless of circumstance. I'm going to start actually experimenting now that we talked about this, and I'm going to start throwing it up in keys where there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm just halfway through the key, just throw it up and see if they press yes.
Fuck. I'm going to start trying that too. That is so fucking funny.
So there's this thing I know, like in Random Group Finder or LFR, where you can just throw up a random like vote to kick someone, and no matter who it is, nobody reads the name. People will just vote yes.
Bro,
like it can be the best.
You get banned. You get 30-minute ban from queuing. Dude, I hate that. That's the worst shit ever. So no, that was actually a classic. I was a demon. If you're familiar with Heroes of Newerth. So Heroes of Newerth had an abandon vote too. They also had a way that you could pause the game, and the vote looked the same. So if I was ever really pissed at my team, I would go on voice, and I would just be like, hey, can you guys pause? And then I would throw up an abandon vote, and like half the time, they would just click yes without even looking at it.
Oh, that's really funny. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to fault Blizzard for trying something.
I forgot about this. Oh my fucking god. Dude, I've had insane shit happen to me in this series. People abandoned out of a motherfucking 10. Like, dude, I've had crazy shit happen.
Oh, I was watching this one live. It's so funny because your party frames go down and you just like throw up your hands looking at your screen. You're just like fighting a boss, someone randomly dies, and then all of a sudden you just see one of your party frames get removed from your screen. And you're just like, what? Like, how? We have 3 deaths.
It's timeable. It's a fucking 10. So that's been pretty consistent with my experience this entire time. It's crazy. Like, on one hand, I don't want to be like, I'm in ELO hell, because I don't believe there's an ELO hell. I believe that I'm actually doing the correct level of keys. I believe that I suck. I believe that I'm bad at tanking. I have seen some fucking demonic shit from the people who are around me in some of these keys. It is crazy.
So I think the moral of the story is, if you're at a key level that you're not happy with or you think it's ELO hell, one of the best things you can do is just be very objective focused and just do whatever you can to get out of that key level. Even if you're not that good. Like when I was playing Jangbi my first time when I was playing Fire Mage, I was literally just playing a raid build so I could kill hard bosses, and I was just trying to do all the mechanics. Like, I basically did tank damage all the way up to plus 20s, which is like the equivalent of like, I don't know, maybe like 12s or something this season. Like, literal tank damage in every single key, but I could push up all the way to where I needed to. Like, if you just do the boss mechanics and just try, like, do the stops or whatever and don't die, you can, and just don't abandon vote, you can pretty much just get out of that bracket. But while you're working through that bracket, it's definitely tough.
I want to know the results of your experiment, Growl. That sounds like a great test.
The throw up the abandon vote, yeah.
Yeah. Still, the last boss was of 14. No reason. Just halfway through.
Yep, yeah. Or just like try and bait people into like times when it might work. Like if some guy dies on a boss or something and I know he's mad, just throw it up to see if he'll hit yes.
You know he's hitting yes.
Yeah.
It's really interesting though, because like realistically, if 4 people voted yes, or three, one of which is the key holder, then theoretically, more than half the group didn't want to be there. Right? Like,
right. Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes all 4 people. Like, we saw in that one, Tettles was the key holder, and all 4 of them would rather just walk outside and be in Revendreth than be in that keystone, even though it's only 3 minutes in.
Yeah. Is this idea that, like, it's so easy to abandon the key now, and Blizzard giving the abandoned system actually brought out more of the, like, push people away from grouping together to finish the key?
I think right-clicking your frame, clicking leave makes more of a statement than throwing up an abandoned vote. And I think I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I think you were right.
So, like, is there a way to fix it? Like, because we've kind of bitched about this a bit. Like, what is the solve here? Is it just removing it? Because I don't know that they would want to remove it, but improve it. Like,
I think step 1 should be, if you throw up an abandoned vote, your name should be on.
Yes, I agree.
Like, I think the fact that there's 0 social consequence to saying that you want to quit the key, because like someone brought this up, I don't want to be in a group of my teammates want to quit. Like, I think a lot of WoW people just go with the flow, right? Like whatever's happening around me, like How many times have you joined a group? Okay, what key do we do? I don't know. What key do you want to do? I don't know. What key do you want to do? I don't know. You want to do this? I don't care. And you're just in Dornigal for 10 minutes. I mean, maybe it's just because I play with Dorky too much, but like most people are just like, hey, we're just here to game and we're just like trying to have fun, you know? I think that at least have some social consequence to throwing up the abandoned vote is a good start.
I agree with that. I also think, like, how do you feel if it actually you know how League shows you the color, like what people previous to you have voted?
Oh yeah.
That would be good as well.
Maybe show everybody's vote. I mean, I don't see why not. Like again, if the run is terrible or everyone wants to leave, then sure. But yeah, I think there should be a little bit more social consequence to voting to leave.
I feel like right now, because you can't see the votes, everybody's just going to go with like, oh, somebody wants to leave, we'll just go with it. Like, but if you like, I know in League, if you see like a yes, then a no, then a yes, then a no, you're like, oh shit, I'm the final vote. Like, what do I actually want to do? But like, because you can't see the votes at all right now, you're just probably gonna vote yes anyways.
It's hard because I'm somebody who is terminally online and I don't give a fuck, and like all the like for me it's just funny. So I can't relate as well to the people who are trying to work up the ladder who have limited time or really care about this keystone being timed or it's their key or and they really need it re-rolled, right? Like I'm just messing around and I don't even care and I'm just a cat with a waffle on his head. So the system just totally isn't for me, so it's hard for me to comment on like how it would be better for me because like I don't care. I just vote yes because it's funny. It's like I just vote yes because if we get kicked out of this key, that's hilarious.
It's literally so troll because the alternative is people claim that they're held hostage if they get voted down. Their term that they use is "I'm held hostage." People didn't agree with my vote. It's just like what the fuck.
But the funniest thing about people being held hostage is almost always the person trying to quit the key is the shittiest player. Like, bro, you're not being held hostage. The group is being held hostage with you in it. Like, believe me, they don't want you. They don't want to be playing with you either, but they're just like, you know, wanting to re-roll the key or knowing that it's still timeable. And you're the idiot that's mad trying to leave. Like, almost always the person trying to leave is the bad player. Like, how often is there some crazy good player who's just, like, rage quitting out of keys?
I timed a 10 Ecodome, or I timed a 15 Ecodome today with 10 deaths, and we wiped to a trash pack because we accidentally overpulled. Like, it is insane how bad people are at determining whether or not a key is still timeable. Like, genuinely, their perception of whether or not a key is timeable is terrible.
Oh, I have another one. Since we've beaten this to death, and I'm sure people are mad about it, since you said Ecodome. This is another one that I watched from Tettles' stream. So Tettles times one of his first 15, I think, gets a 16 Ecodome, and it's like, this is one of the best keys. Yeah. No, this isn't. No, I think this is an interesting one, actually. Yeah, this isn't me calling out Tettles. So Tettles gets a 16 Ecodome, huge key for his 0 to hero, right? After timing his first 15. Gets a squad. Not the greatest squad, but they're doing all right. They get to the end. Things aren't going super well. The timer's really tight. Then somebody dies to the last boss, which is like kind of bad, but whatever. Then it's like, okay, this is not timeable. This is out of time. Well, they're like 2 minutes from finishing the key, but the 15 is still big IO for Kegels. Like, he needs that 15. And that's like a really easy key that you time. Like, he does not want to finish that 16, get a 15 priory, and then be in prison. That could be a 12 priory by the end of the night if he rerolls that Ecodome and things don't go right?
Yeah.
So then Tettles is like, well, I want this key. So he just taunts the boss out, resets the boss so his team can't finish it, and then just hearts. Which I personally think this is fair game in a 16. I think if it's your key and you don't want to finish it and re-roll it, it's completely on you. But there was somebody in the group that was quite upset and was only there to do a weekly, even though it was a 16 they had already had at time, and they just sat through 35 minutes of a key only to have their tank hearth out on the last boss.
I actually feel so bad about it because I'm like morally conflicted as to what the right thing to do is there. Because selfishly, I need that motherfucking key. Like I needed that key. Like it is my key. Like I need it. Also, at the same time, that guy being like, "I wanted this for my weekly." We were like halfway through killing the last boss, and we could have four-manned it. And I taunted out and reset the boss. Like, I am so morally conflicted as to did what I do, like, is what I have done there wrong? Like, oh my god, I actually feel so bad. But also at the same time, I actually need the fucking key.
I mean, I think that's why, like, Growl and I, and even Blizzard has said, like, we need to make sure that the people who are getting the key done are there for the right purpose. Whether it's for completion no matter what, or if we're going to fail to time it, we leave. Like,
yeah, it's hard. I mean, I've been in the same situation, so this is one thing that I've learned, is you never join a Resil key for a weekly. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, if it's a Resil key, at least somebody in the key is probably competent. But bro, there's been so many times where I join a Resil key for a weekly, because I'm trying to do keys, thinking that it's going to be an easy run. And then like 10 minutes in the key, they're like, let's just Resil, guys, let's just restart, even though it's very easily timable. And it's just like, dude, like, why? And then all of a sudden vote to abandon, and then success, and then you're out of the dungeon.
yeah.
And it's just like, bro, like, I don't know, like, but at the same time, it's their key, right? Like, they have every right to do what they want to do with it. Like, I just need to accept that if I join somebody's key that isn't clearly marked as a weekly or as like a 10 or whatever, that I have that risk as someone joining it. Like, I'm not saying it's their fault when I join that. Like, I assume that risk when I join a 15 gambit because I just don't care, and it looks like they already have a tank and I can just join and slam it real quick. Yeah. That it's, it's on me if they are weird.
All right, now going back to the tank discussion, as somebody who has 60 hours worth of tank experience, I just want to talk about my experience a little bit more. Yep. I think that this role is way too much. I think it's way too hard. It's way too impactful, and what is actually expected out of you as a tank player is disproportionately way too hard. I think that gathering packs is actually insanely difficult to the point where there's nothing in World of Warcraft that actually requires difficult micro decision making, like from moment to moment micro decision making, and how you're moving your character through 3D space. Very infrequently does that actually matter. More often than not, it is like preemptiveness and having ideas about what's going on in advance that is superior. But as a tank, how you're moving your character around to gather trash mobs, it has to be one of the hardest things in this game by a significant amount. It's like not even particularly close, to the point where I have began doing follower dungeons, the first pull of Floodgate and the first pull of Ecodome in follower dungeons, trying to make sure that I'm getting global perfect sequences down to make sure that I don't lose threat. Threat is a terrible mechanic, and it has to be one of the most unfun things I have ever actually experienced. On top of the fact that I think that white swings, just as the core mechanic of what you're expected to do as a tank is mitigating white swings, I do not find it fun. Like, maybe it's just because I'm not a tank, but the fact that it's all about mitigating melee damage to you is a crazy way of designing the role.
I mean,
I sort of agree, but I'm wondering what are maybe some of the things, like, especially with white swings, like, isn't that what it... So, as a healer, I actually have a little bit of a different POV when it comes to tank damage. So, it actually annoys me a little bit when tanks are like, I don't like white swings, or like, I don't like to take damage, or like tank busters or whatever. There's definitely some egregious mechanics, don't get me wrong. But the problem is, everyone's experienced the demonic tank that just does a pull that's literally impossible, but they're not in danger, right? Like, a funny thing that I was watching, you were doing Halls of Atonement, and you're like, people are asking you, do you go left after the first boss or right? The left way is much easier for your team, but very hard on the tank because of the Mortal Strike. The right way is almost demonic for your healer and trying to live, but it's much easier as the tank, right? And you're like, I always go right. Right's way better for me. And I'm just like...
I literally cannot live going left. There's these Mortal Strike motherfuckers, and they one-shot me. I literally cannot beat them. I don't know. I suck. I'm literally just so bad that I cannot survive them.
Well, so I personally don't necessarily mind a trade-off or decision-making like that. I just think that it's hard, like, everyone's experienced the tank that just pulls 7 casters, and then you wipe, and they're like, why didn't you guys kick? It's like, dude, shut up, like, it's a 13 key and no comms. You can't pull 17 pyromancers and then say, why didn't you guys kick? Like, or the tanks that do like 7 scale binders in Gambit, and then they're just 7 fish sticks. Guys, kill the fish sticks. It's like, that's not how my class works. Like, you're doing a pull that doesn't work, but you're a tank and you're not taking a lot of damage, and so you don't understand. Like, you don't understand what's going wrong, right? But the easiest, most obvious way to tell a tank he's pulling too many things is if he dies, right?
Yes, I think that getting meleeed in the back and gathering mobs is such a really difficult skill to have, and that I think is the thing that I've learned by far the most about this entire series is like, holy fuck, gathering mobs is, I find it to be unbelievably unfun just because of how challenging it is. I'm trying to pull up like the first pull of any dungeon is insanely difficult because you're doing these global perfect sequences, and if you get meleeed in the back, so some tanks can't block from the back, obviously Paladin and Warrior, and then no tank can like parry or dodge from the back, and so if you ever accidentally turn your back to the mobs, it is like genuinely the worst series of events. Okay, so I have the first pull of Halls of Atonement. What you actually do here is you taunt this first Darkblade, then you spinning crane kick roll into this Houndmaster pack, make sure that everybody gets hit by this 5-yard AoE keg smash, otherwise you're not going to have threat on the entire pull, and then you have to roll and run 30 yards away to get the next pull started. And this to me, like, I know I'm new, I know I'm bad, I'm on a fucking Brewmaster Monk, which should in theory be the best at doing this. This is the hardest micro I've ever had in this game by a lot. It's not even particularly close, and I'm like sprinting around the room and just barely able to maintain threat on anything, and then I suck so bad that people randomly get meleeed, then I'm panicking and I'm not even able to like get the mob taunted in time, and keg smash. If I don't hit every single mob with a keg smash for some reason, I never have threat on anything either. It's so hard. Like, I genuinely think I think it's too hard of a roll. Like, I think it's disproportionately hard.
Have you tried Potion of Shocking Disclosure?
I did, and then I got banned that one time.
Ooh, yeah. You can only use potions that you can obtain from the safe haven of Dornagal. Yeah, I think, to me, gathering is one of the things that's the most intimidating from a non-tank perspective. Like, I don't necessarily mind having like an opener or whatever, but like tabbing between targets as they're moving and stopping,
yes,
like nameplates, and you're like turning your camera, that's like really, really tough. Like, I feel like I have a lot of respect for people who can do that, and like, you know, and you have jobs too, right? Like, it's not like you don't have to kick as a tank and you don't have to live. Like, while you're doing this gather, you do have to do all of the other things that everyone else is doing.
What happened with you as a Vengeance Demon Hunter in the first pull of Rookery? I was told to ask you about that by Dorkia earlier.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. So in one of the many days that this expansion of us sitting in Discord, not having a tank, I log into Growl DH because I have Evade in the call with me, who's also waiting for a tank. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna like teach me how to play Demon Hunter. And I basically tried to do the first pull in Rookery for like 30 minutes, and I just died over and over and over again. And yeah, it did not go well, and that was basically the beginning and the end of my tanking career.
Well,
yeah.
I will say, dude, just play Prop Paladin. I think Prop Paladin is like the easy mode tank. Like, okay, not for high keys, but for just like doing whatever middling keys. Like, you're talking about how hard to gather. Like, dude, just like whip your shield over there and like tag everything, and then you interrupt them and you silence them, and like, pretty sure Prop Paladin's easy as long as you're not doing hard keys.
Dude, I wish I was on a fucking warrior. It's crazy you say Paladin. I wish I had charge and leap and thunderclap like on this goddamn Brewmaster Monk. And Bear also, I feel like, I can just moonfire every mob from 100 yards away.
Yeah, Bear is easy, I think, to do your tanking job, but I think in terms of like successfully doing keys, in terms of gathering and stopping mobs, I kind of like Prop Paladin more.
Yeah.
Have you been trying to get threat and then you just die because you forgot to press the rabbit booty buttons? It's not really a Brewmaster thing, but like on other tanks, it's usually more common.
Okay, yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is it rarely happens because of stagger and how it works.
Yeah.
But anytime I get meleeed in the back so fucking often. Let me just say, like, as a mechanic, getting meleeed in the back, it doing so much extra damage to you is obnoxious. Like, it is so annoying because you have to gather like 30 mobs and they start backstepping you, and you don't even move and they'll walk behind you. Like, what is even going on? Like, why are they walking behind me?
The classic. That's been around since N'Zoth, dude. The step. Just as an aside, by the way, you guys know Ecodubb's bugged right now?
Yeah, so we're getting a lot of reports about this. So we never actually talked about this tip, I don't think, but it doesn't really matter now, but on the second boss, the javelins, you could actually like slowly step out of the range of the javelin and you just wouldn't stack it up, and so it would basically do nothing. And I'm sure that's not how it was intended. And now we're getting reports of people just getting slaughtered by the javelins for no reason. And I'm guessing this means that they're trying to hotfix this. So probably when you're listening to this, you will have this. So if you're doing an Ecodome and you used to do the javelin thing, I don't think that's going to work anymore.
So at some point between like 4 hours ago and 2 hours ago, they hotfixed the javelins. Like, okay, so there's a change in the way the javelins work. I have no hotfix record of this. But the way the javelins work is they tick every second for damage. But every 5 seconds, they go up a stack and add, and double their damage. Or, I guess, plus 100% of their damage. That plus 100% damage is now ticking every second instead of every 500, or every 5 seconds. Meaning, like, you're going to hit 5 stacks on that javelin in 5 seconds. Making you take 5 times as much damage during that time. Ecodo is brutal now.
The stacks are a lot of damage. I mean, I'm assuming this is a bug. I don't think this is intended. I assume they're just trying to fix the stacking javelin thing, because I think the mechanic was fine. Like, but now when you could glitch it, you just never even had to do the mechanic. You just step out of the javelin, even though it's on you. And I don't think that was intended. But I'm assuming that by the time people are listening to this, that it's just fixed and you can't do the step out thing anymore.
Yeah. I just can't find out exactly. I just don't have a hotfix record for it, so I don't know when exactly it happened. But good luck in Ecodomes. Don't do that. Don't do that dungeon until it's fixed.
So anything Tettles, you mentioned like gathering and threat and stuff. Any other like revelations that you think you've had about either the tanking life or the pugging life? I know you just did the 0-0 with Ellie Shaman,
I would only ever tank with a group of friends anymore. I feel like the tanking as a role, whenever you have to do it as like a solo person and you're like guiding the 4 other people, it is genuinely just not a role that is designed well for you to be playing it as like a solo player. It is like while it is a carry role, like you can carry the most out of all the roles, you just miss out on a lot of the reward because of what tanking I think is, in my opinion. I also realized that every single time whenever I'm looking to form a group out of LFG, I should be over-prioritizing people who have Mythic raid experience. Primarily those who kill more than pug raids. Like,
don't say that.
More than like 2 bosses. For some reason, I've been getting like a lot of non-raid people, and they're the exact same IO, and they do, for some reason, like 20 to 30% less damage than anybody who actually is actively entering and participating in the raid.
Commenters are mad. Tettles gatekeeping. It's Mythic Plus. Raid doesn't mean anything. Stop declining me.
It just
no. I actually fully agree. I mean, I know it's something that people don't want to hear, but I think the biggest thing is that a lot of times you get these like really ratty random Fodom rerollers. Like people talk about them, right? Like the bad Fodom rerollers. I think they're most obvious when they don't have raid logs. Like if you see some guy and he's in a guild and he's raiding, he's maining that class for the entire patch, and chances are going to be at least semi-competent on it. But you don't know, like some guy could apply to your key at 720 item level and just be like, he just made his DK yesterday and bought a hard mode clear or whatever, and now here he is.
Yeah,
I think it's a good tiebreaker. Like, don't get me wrong, IO score is still important, and like if you're timing big keys or whatever. But chances are in Group Finder, especially when you said it, you're a tank. You now have the pickings. You can just list your key. If you're the key holder and the tank, the world is your oyster. You can take anybody and anyone that you want.
I mean, let me ask you a question here, Tettles. I'm gonna step into it a little bit. If you were a tank, I mean you are, and you had the choice between solo queuing or LFGing, what would you do?
I don't know, man. I think that probably neither.
Neither. I wouldn't tank. That's his answer. That is crazy comms as neither. I would log off the video game if I had to tank.
Probably
That
neither.
is
It was,
crazy.
like the real answer. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what?
That's
Like,
a good one.
I think it would be more fun if I was in voice with people and be like, yo, can you tag this pack for me? Yo, can you help me out with this thing? Instead of having to do everything by yourself is like, holy fuck. I am like sweating. Like, and it's still like these people are just making my job 20% harder.
And just being able to explain shit, right? Being like, oh, yo, I don't have threat on this, or oh, I didn't tag this, or we're moving over here, you know? Like, how many times are you like, you know, maybe not gathering everything perfectly, and then your team just starts hitting shit and like pulling mobs, and you're like, yo, I wasn't done here.
Yeah. It was just an interesting thought now that you've seen the other side, and I think you now know part of the reason why I decided to not play tank anymore.
I ventured into the raid. I don't know why you actually quit tanking. That shit is free.
It's boring.
Oh, I haven't. Oh,
that's valid.
I have another thing we can shit talk the commenters about. So one of the things is, so your tank career has lasted about a week, not even a week so far, and I noticed several times that you were in LFG trying to pug the first 2 mythic bosses, and I was wondering your experience doing that.
Terrible. We deplete it. We lose every single time. We literally lose every single time. We call it side questing. I think is what we started calling it. Where we're literally like, for some reason I just get tired of depleting every single Mythic Plus dungeon, and I'm like, I want to do something different. And it's actually very bad for me for the purposes of this challenge, because it's like I'm wasting fucking time. Like I'm better off just trying to get more reps, because I'm so bad that just actually slamming more reps is more valuable than trying to power up my character anymore. And it's one of those things that like I've yet to actually kill Plexus Sentinel. I wanted to kill Plexus Sentinel, but all the pugs, apparently the only time that you should be pugging Plexus Sentinel, I've learned this from my chat, is Tuesday.
Yep.
So I guess I had tuned in a little bit, and I'd watched you do a little bit of it, and I felt like some of the pulls you were pretty close. And Plexus Sentinel is definitely harder than the second boss. I felt like it was attainable that you could have killed those 2 bosses if you had gotten a little bit luckier. And I was ready to shit talk the commenters, because everyone says, oh, these guys are elitists, like just pug mythic bosses forehead. Like, and I was thinking to myself, bro, if Tettles logs onto a brewmaster having no idea how to play, with any linked accounts, and then joins a pug and kills mythic bosses in his first week of playing the game, then I am so right. But you couldn't do it. So I'm a little salty. I was really hoping that you were going to get those boss kills. I still think it's something that's a lot more obtainable than people think it is.
It had nothing to do with me. I actually thought that tanking raid was gonna be way harder. Plexus Sentinel is turbo fucking stupid. For some reason, every single pull with these people from LFG, they just like get hit by the first fucking wall, and I'm just like, what is even? Dude, like, you got hit by the fucking wall. Use your extra action, but like, what? It was even going on.
Dude, ask Sense though, like how going from Nexus King went to the first phase of Dimensius prog.
I asked Sense, I go, when does tanking actually become hard? Because I tanked heroic as well, and it was like there were no mechanics. I was like, what's even going on? Like the biggest mechanic was you swap on soul hunters, and I have the Northern Sky Pack goes taunt, and then it like puts a thing over the mob that you're supposed to be taunting. It goes taunt, and then you just taunt it, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I was like, when does tanking get hard? And he's like, yeah, like Saladar. I was like Mythic Saladar.
Dude, you go from Nexus King, which is like a really, really intense tank fight, to Dimensius, where the boss hits like every 2.5 seconds, and you sit there and just do nothing.
It's weird. It does, like the bosses don't even put me in red stagger. Like I'm just I could sit there. I think I could sit there and just press my damage rotation. Oh, dude,
that's what every tank does. I'm pretty sure.
Something I meant to bring up. Oh my god, this is the weirdest thing ever. I started looking at guides for Brewmaster Monk. Nobody actually tells you how to tank. It's like they're giving you a guide for a DPS, except you're a tank. Nobody's ever given you like a guide to be like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to be gathering mobs, layering your defensives, rotating through defensives on AoE, getting this pack stacked up, utilizing your abilities to be able to gather mobs. Nobody actually ever tells you how to be a tank. They just go, yeah, so you press blackout kick, and then you press tiger palm, and then you rotate through rising sun kick occasionally. And I'm just like, that's great and all. who cares about this 3-button rotation?
Yeah, but there's a pack over here and there's a pack over there, and I need to get from there to here, and I need to live.
I gotta move like 6 mobs from the 40 yards away over here. Now what? What am I supposed to be doing? You know, Rising Sun.
Big shout out to Dorky. I don't think he does these anymore. I don't remember if it was Dragonflight. He made these like little short 8-minute guides that were like basically what you said of like, oh, here's me going into a pack. This is what I press. This is how I gather. This is my defensive. Yeah. And I remember watching it thinking like, I have no idea how to tank or what this is, but like, I'm glad that someone is doing this because I've never watched a tank guide that actually explains what the tanks are doing.
I needed Trell, Sherwin, and Yips all to like give me advice as well on like not how to play the character or the spec, but like what am I doing? Like what am I doing in the dungeon like differently? That like how do I need to like move my character around in a different manner? Which is like an incredibly weird thing to be asking because it's like, oh yeah, as a DPS or healer, you kind of always have this. You just follow the group. It's not that big of a deal, but you're like, since you're leading the group, you're like, how am I supposed to tank?
Yeah, it's very similar with healers too, where in raid, it's like, okay, you combine this and this and this, and you power up and you do millions of healing on every single raid person, and it's like, that is not how you play it all in dungeons. And people are like, you know, playing unused trinkets and like combining their cooldowns in dungeons. I'm like, bro, that is not what you do. It's like, but it's so much healing. It's like, okay, well, in 20 seconds, your team is dead because you have nothing.
By far, the most important thing is, in my opinion, for me so far, has been recording my gameplay and watching other high-end players' VODs after I fuck something up and figuring out what they're doing differently to make sure that it is correctly done. Because, and I didn't even notice this last season, or I don't even notice this whenever I'm playing like a ranged DPS. I miss so much stuff on what's happening actually in the dungeon whenever I'm trying to tank. Maybe it's because I'm like brand new or like what's actually going on. And every single time a mistake happens or something happens, I go, that felt weird. Was that my fault? I'm just like, I don't even know. I literally have to go back in my VOD and watch to see what happened again, because I'm like, who's like, what actually even happened? Whose fault is this? Is there anything that I can do to mitigate this?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, you see so much when you watch back. There's so much information and stuff going on in WoW. That's always been my advice since I very first started playing, is record yourself and watch back. And it's funny because people will say, okay, well then what do you look for? It's like, you just haven't done it. Like, just do it. Like, you will see. It is eye-opening what the game looks like when you're not the one playing it and you can just see. But you also were playing it, so you remember what you thought and what was going on.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
so
it's
many
so
times
weird
it's
to me,
been
though.
weird like that. Sorry, what were you saying?
It's so weird, the dichotomy. Like, raid tanks are like boring for the most part, minus some certain things, and Mythic Plus is the most high intensity, knowledge based role of all time. Like, it's crazy, the dichotomy there, and I don't even know if Blizzard knows how to fix it.
Dude, oh my god. I don't even, what is going on with Brewmaster Monk's buttons? What is this fucking spec? I have 9 rotational buttons and like 7 defensives. Like, I'm playing the piano. Like, it doesn't have as many buttons as my druid because of stances and shapeshifting and stuff, but it is very close, and so many of them are rotational. That spec is crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the problem with, you know, I commented about tank busters or whatever. That's the other side of it. It's like, well, if you actually want to make challenging content that kills you, like, bro, you can actually min-max so heavily. Like, there is so much stuff that you can be doing.
I just don't understand why all the difficulty of tanking is gated into a couple of specific things, which are at least in Mythic Plus specifics, gathering trash packs, tank busters, and white swings. That feels like that's like almost, I don't want to say almost all, but like a significant portion of actually the difficulty of what tanking is. But it is by far the hardest thing I've ever actually experienced in Mythic Plus. It is so much harder than anything else.
Yeah, buff tanks.
Holy shit. Yeah, buff tanks for real. God damn.
Welcome to my tank rant for the last couple of years.
Dude,
Membership is free.
This is some, I don't know, yeah. I don't even know what I would change about it. I think the micro I think is too much, but I don't even know what I would even do to start solving for it. Like, needing to tab taunt in the middle of a fucking trash pack and struggling with, okay, threat. I need somebody to go fucking tank some 15s in the Blizzard office. This is the most dog shit mechanic I've ever seen. Like, dude.
I mean, it's fine in a
What
12.
do you mean my fucking keg smash missed this one might and then it proceeded to melee my fucking demon hunter to death? What do you mean?
Yeah, there's like Warrior has mass taunt, which is really nice for those emergency situations, and I really think tanks could benefit from like a not super low cooldown, but like an emergency like grab everything tool.
I think if I body aggro the pack, it should just be latched to me. Like I don't even I dead ass think this pack should be attached to me if I've walked into it. Like do not let them walk away from me. Dude,
I think if I body aggro a pack, it should be attached to me.
So what happens when
I don't think actually it should work like that, but I think it should work like that.
So what happens when Jang B body pulls a pack? Does it just latch onto him until he like dies?
No. It latches onto him until I roll onto the fucking pack, and then it latches onto me.
So you just have like a magnet around you, is what you're saying.
You please, I'm down. Like, please, God.
Isn't that called like rushing Jadewind or something?
Except it doesn't do fucking damage.
Oh.
It'll out DPS like healer aggro. It doesn't do actual damage though for some reason.
Tettles living by like tank rant for over the last like 5 years is just music to my ears right now.
I was so fucking tilted last night. Holy fucking shit. Somebody came in my chat and just goes, like, are you having fun tanking? And I just sat there and thought about it for a while, and I'm just like, absolutely fucking not. This shit is miserable. Like this role sucks. Like, and it's not even Brewmaster Monk. It's like what is expected out of you playing the role is way, way, way too hard in a pug. Like it is just pugging as a tank. It has got to be the least enjoyable thing I've ever experienced.
So I have a question, only one question, and it's how much have you experimented with your talent choices in order to shore up some of the weaknesses that you felt while playing the game?
I don't know anything about Brewmaster Monk.
So 0.
Like I have opted into 0% theory crafting, 100% figuring out how to play the game. Which I think is
just... That's my only thing, and I think that I don't know for sure, but that's kind of how... That's always what stopped me when I've complained about that sort of thing, is like... Maybe there are just choices on the... I mean, I could be wrong here, but like... I'm not saying there are choices that'll do that you can time 20s with, but like... Maybe there is a better build or better choices or different things that you could have played that would have made your life easier. But because you just copy pasted whatever Kira or Yoda or whatever was running, that you made things harder on yourself that they could have been.
There have been changes to my talents because of this. There have been some. Yips told me to change some talents.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
The problem
is I definitely don't mean this as an aha or whatever. I'm mainly saying this because a lot of the critiques that I've had about Mage, I've sort of noticed that like, okay, well, I'm playing this talent and I could just take this off and play something else.
The problem is I need 60 days of playing time for the reps for things to feel smooth for me, but I have 60 hours, so I just need so much practice.
As a side note, they just fixed Aldani.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, so... All right, allegedly, I just looked at the hotfix and theoretically it should be fixed. So,
but yeah, right. I think the mobs should literally just be latched to you. I don't care like that, and also not melee you in the back or just remove that mechanic. Like I get it from a thematic standpoint. You can't block if the mobs are meleeing you from behind, but it is so garbage.
I don't disagree with you for what it's worth. I mean, anything to make tanking like easier, I think just like that would be a pretty good start. Dodge, parry, block from behind. Like it's just remove one of the things from tanks. Because like the number of tanks that will like if you need to go away, you turn your back for half a second and 3 mobs melee from your back and you just die. Like block, especially on a warrior tank. The second you lose block, you die.
Apparently the most overpowered thing for Brewmaster Monk is learning the ability to be able to roll backwards. You can roll backwards, and that's what you're supposed to do whenever you go, like, walk away from a pack. You just roll backwards and you turn around and run.
Do you have backpedal bound still?
Yeah, of course. I've always had backpedal bound. Yeah, whenever you saw me Swanton bomb my entire group, I was supposed to be holding down D, and I held down nothing, and I rolled forwards.
Fair enough. All right. Nice tank rant, Tettles. Thank you.
Yeah. So hopefully I graduate from tank college within the next few hours and actually get top 1% of all Mythic Plusers. playing tank, but it's
And then turbo boost happens, and then you're in the pits again.
I'm actually really interested in playing it with like people that I know, and in voice. I think that the role could be more interesting in voice. It's just
the question
so
is just,
hard
are
to
people
play.
interested in playing with your brewmaster?
That is also very legitimate question.
All right. Shall we move on then?
Yep. Anything else?
Tettles is so defeated right now,
dude. I mean, it's been a long 5 days for me. Like it's
yeah.
Don't worry, man. It's gonna be. It's a matter of time before Jangbi is begging for Kegels to tank his keys.
Dude, the role is hard, and I am not very good at it. Like it is genuinely so hard, and I don't know why. Like I don't know why Blizzard has genuinely made it this hard.
I'm glad you got to experience it. I really, really am. Now we need Growl as tank. That's what we need next.
No.
They get the content.
Do you ever like? Do heal checks make you feel good in a dungeon?
I think the way that you're talking about tanking, to me, it feels like healer is like the light version of tanking.
Yeah.
Where part of it is like, you're mostly just like babysitting everybody, and there's tons of different times where you're tested that you need to make sure that you're paying attention and that you don't mess up. But it's not as constant. Like there are definitely some pulls where it's like you're not really doing that much as a healer, and there's not as much going on, and like, but as a tank, like, you can't just like go AFK in a pack, or like, oh, I'm just gonna take this pack to, every single mob is gonna hit me in the back or whatever.
Is there a healer equivalent to like absolutely shitting on a mob with like your arcane surge? Like, what is the healer equivalent to that?
I think. So for me, I would say the biggest healer moment, or the times when you're like, I own, is when you foresee something bad happening and then you intervene to stop it before and like save somebody in a way. Like, okay, let's say if you kick something, right? That's like kind of like it, like it's not yours. But like, imagine like, okay, you see somebody who looks like they're gonna walk into something, or like something bad's gonna happen to them, like a cast's gonna go off, and then you like preemptively use your shield trinket on them, and then they take a bunch of damage and they live with like 20% HP. Or like you ramp up a bunch of hots on the tank, and then like just as he's messes up his defensives, and then you like, because you were so ready for that to happen, you push them back up or whatever. I think that's the closest, is that like level of foresight and like correcting mistakes of other people, probably. Yeah. But it's definitely not like, oh man, I just crit 7 barrages in a row and I got all these. If anything, it's actually a lot more skillful as like a healer or a tank, right? Because you're actually making thoughts and thinking about things. Whereas a DPS, it's like, you could do your rotation perfectly and it just, I got a bunch of procs and I got lucky and now I'm fucking owning. Or like, my team gets this mob into execute just as my surge hits, and then I crit everything and I get a 60 million touch because it's a great pull for me, and it's like nothing I even did was
But you see, how many you have a bunch of those moments on a per dungeon basis where on tank and healer, I feel like I've noticed this especially on tank. I never have that moment on tank. I'm just like stressed the entire time.
I definitely related to what you said when you were talking about how like, as a DPS, you can kind of just like do the dungeon and fail and not really give a shit. Because it also kind of feels like your mistakes aren't really that bad, and you're just kind of like, it just feels like a more normal learning process.
Yes.
Whereas like a healer or a tank, it's like you mess up and then everyone's dead and then you're just out of the key. Whereas as arcane mage, like, dude, I could have messed up 7 of my cooldowns in the whole dungeon and I did tank damage, but like, we're not gonna like, it's not gonna be so apparently obvious that it's like a slow bleed in a way. It's much less painful. And like when we were progging, sorry, just one last thing in raid. It was totally fine that we took 300 pulls on these bosses, because I felt like I'm just playing the game and I'm learning. Whereas like when I healed, I got so much more frustrated when we were wiping.
I remember the first time I went from tank to DPS. It was in a mother load. I was playing rogue with Trell. And my god, like that was eye-opening how little DPS had to do, and that was like when rogue was gouge bot. Like, there is so much less that you have to do, and that kind of just changed, like, opened my eyes for how important and how much the tank is asked to do. And if they fuck up a single thing, you get told to uninstall.
I cannot fucking believe that happened to me, dude. Oh my god, this YouTube video that's gonna come from this series is gonna be an absolute fucking movie. Like, holy, I have had insane experiences.
Are you going to start with all the clips?
No,
Is that what's gonna happen?
No, I
Cold
think it's just
open?
gonna be like a progressive video again.
All right, fair enough. You gotta have a cold open, man.
Dude, I cannot fucking believe people actually had the expectation that a tank should be a shot caller too in a Mythic Plus dungeon. What absolute crackhead thing to think that your tank should be shot calling. Oh my god.
I don't know. People are just dicks sometimes.
Yep.
Dude, like what are we, like 2013 high on C9, like where he's the only person who's talking for all 5 members of his fucking team? Like, there's no way that the tank is supposed to be shot calling. That is bananas.
Yeah,
I think
I
with
agree.
bosses, it's probably fine. Like, I remember, like, remember the dual boss in Shrine of the Storm? I think that's fine. But, like, there's no way on Trash should they be the one shot calling.
Surprisingly enough, more often than not, whenever I'm, like, kind of chilling, it's like, some bosses, I'm literally just fucking sitting there doing nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
nice. And then, it is genuinely, like, trash packs. It is the hardest part, for sure.
Definitely. But I guess the counterpoint of Devil's Advocate is that just the way we play? Like, we're not pulling one pack at a time? Like,
yeah.
Is it
you're always thinking,
no. You're wrong. They put a timer on the fucking dungeon. They put a fucking timer on the dungeon.
Timed content.
It's timed content, so there's an expectation that you're going to be able to complete it within a certain time period, which means that you of course are going to be forced to push the envelope.
Okay, so what you're saying is every dungeon should be Violet Hold Mythic Plus.
I'm down. I don't know. This series has been eye-opening. I just need... after the series is over, Jang B and I got to get into an 18 with people that we know and see if I feel differently about it.
Ooh, I got a baseball game I got to go to that day.
We can reschedule.
All right.
I think we're out of here. I think we're done with the app.
Yeah,
right,
that was a good one. That was a banger.
All right, GG's.
GG's.
Bye-bye.